Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be my monthly update for pan in every palette. This is a large group collab. I will have everybody linked down below that's doing this project. The goal is to hit pan in all of our palettes so that they're more loved and more used. Credit for this project goes to Lady Pans-a-Lot. She organized this and put us all together as this group collab as you see it. And I've been working on 4 palettes at a time. This has been a really slow moving project for me. I talk about it every month, but I'm not prioritizing these eyeshadows. I'm trying to use them every month. In fact, I have a minimum goal of using each of those 4 eyeshadows in the 4 palettes 1 time a month, and that is it. And if I could do that, I've met my goal. So it's really exciting when I finally hit pan in one of these palettes because it took a long time. And I have pan in one of these palettes, and it's a good one. The specific date that I started this project was November 29th, 2018. So we are coming up on 2 years of doing this project. And this palette has been in this project since I started 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So that's a little bit crazy, but like I said, I'm not prioritizing these eyeshadows. I'm just trying to use them at least once a month. So let me show you my newest pan. Here it is right here. Look at that guy. Isn't he a beauty? This is my Natasha Denona green brown palette. I always want to throw the word blue in there somewhere, but there's no blue. It's just the green brown palette. And this is the shade Moonstone right here. I've basically been using it as a brow bone highlight, but it also makes a beautiful lid shade. It's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous eyeshadow. And it took me 89 uses to hit pan. 89 uses. Now maybe I'd used this a few times before I started working on it in this project, but basically it was brand new. So 90, 95, somewhere between 90 and 95 uses to hit pan from brand new in a Natasha Denona eyeshadow. That's just a fraction of 1 year, but that's a long time. So far out of all the pans I've hit in this project, this took the most. The next most was my Moon Dust shade from Urban Decay. That one took 79 uses to hit pan. That one was rough as well. So yes, I finally have a pan in this palette and it will be rolling out of this project. I mentioned a few months ago that I did try to incorporate some of the other eyeshadows in looks just to get more use out of this palette. I mean, it's like a really expensive palette and it's just not getting used. So over the past month, I used this shade right here for a look. I didn't film on that day, I don't think at all. So I can't show you what that looked like, but it was nice. I actually like this a lot. And yeah, I'm not happy to be putting this away for now, but I'm happy to be making some progress in this project and especially to have finally hit pan in one of the OGs of this project. I did end up using the shade Moonstone 4 more times after hitting pan. So I expanded the pan a little bit. It was just a little speck at first and I used it 4 more times. And since then I've moved on to a different shade to use as a brow bone highlight. Okay, let's switch from talking about the palette I finally hit pan in to the palette I used the least. Once again, Pat McGrath got the shaft. I've only used her once in the past month, which is the minimum requirement I have for this project. There she is right there. No major changes, just 1 use. Sorry, Pat. You deserve better, but at least I used you once. The next most used palette out of the bunch this past month is the Yes Please palette from ColourPop. I am trying to hit pan on this yellow shade right here. I have a look that I've been project panning that incorporates this shade and I've been using it as like a transitional shade in that look day in and day out. I actually ended up using this 13 times over the past month. I'm not doing that look today, of course, but there is definitely a dip showing and I'm really happy with the amount of use I got out of this eyeshadow over the past month. And yeah, I'm very happy with 13 uses. I'm making good headway on this palette. I don't think I'll have pan by next month, but I'm happy with the amount I used this palette over the past month. And I'm very happy with the look that I've been panning that incorporates this. It's just a fun look that's easy to do day in and day out. it's a colorful look, but it goes with a lot of different looks. Like it goes with a lot of different outfits that I wear, so I can wear it no matter whether I'm wearing, you know, pink or blue or whatever clothes I have. Gray, I can wear it over and over, and I've just been enjoying it. And my most used palette of the month goes to this guy right here. This is my blush palette from Makeup Revolution. This is the Sugar and Spice palette. I really thought I was gonna have pan by today. I really did, but I don't. I don't have pan. I'm sure it's going to happen any day now. I mean, I've really felt that way last month too. But yeah, I do not have pan. I used it 19 times. It's looking used and well loved compared to the other blushes, but no pan yet. It'll probably happen tomorrow. That's always what happens. But I did use this 19 times in the past month, and I'm very happy with that. And it is the blush I'm wearing today. Okay, so it's always exciting when I finally hit pan on a palette. I get to roll that palette out and I get to roll something else in. And I've known all along what that palette would be. I went back and forth a little bit, but really it was always going to be this guy that I rolled into this project. This is the ABH Subculture palette. It is the most perfect fall palette ever, arguably. Mine isn't that well used. It has been used, but it's not, there are no dips. There are no major dips. There's no major progress. There's no shade that I could look at this palette and say, I should just go for that shade and hit pan on it so I could roll in something else. It all looks very gently used. And I don't know which shade I'm gonna zero in on to hit pan on. If I didn't have the yellow shade in my Yes Please palette, I would say it would probably be one of these two. But since I'm already working on that yellow shade, I'm thinking I might go for a different shade in this palette, but I don't know which one. I always like to give myself the first month to play around with the palette and see what's calling my name and see what I'm gravitating towards, and to see which shadow works best with the other eyeshadows I'm currently using day in and day out. But what's really been calling my name are these green shades like Destiny and Access. These two right here are the ones I'm really looking forward to playing with. I don't know which shade I'm gonna go with at the end of the day, but I have the next month to play around and decide which one I'm gonna try to hit pan on. I have seen some people pan this palette, and I really admire the people who do a pan that palette with this palette. I don't see myself choosing this as a pan that palette. The way I see myself using this palette up eventually is like one shade at a time, pulling out one shade from this palette and incorporating it with other shades, because every time I've tried to do a look with this palette, I'm not that happy with it when I use this palette alone. But these shadows on their own are good. I just get muddy looks whenever I use this palette. So I'm hoping that if I take one of these shadows and incorporate them into looks with other shadows that are a little bit calmer and tamer, I'll get a look that I'm really happy with. So we'll see. Also, Cube and Electric are much drier than they were when I first got this palette. I remember the first time I dipped my finger in Electric, I thought it was like the most amazing eyeshadow I'd ever felt before. I used to love putting this on top of a brown eyeshadow like crayon that I was trying to pan a few years ago, and I would like take the brown crayon and draw it all over my eyelid and blend it out, and then take this and pat it on top of my eyelid, and it was magic. But this has definitely gotten a lot harder. It's still working. There's still product coming off, but it's not the same consistency as it was when I first was playing around with it after I first got this palette. And I don't know how, but Adorn looks brand new. It looks like it's never even been touched. It could be, I don't know. The rest of the shades at least look like a brush has been dipped in them, but Adorn, the shimmery bronzy shade, looks brand new. I'm so excited to start playing around with this palette over the next month. Hopefully I will still be in love with it at the next month's update. We'll see. But that is my update for this project. And hopefully I will have another pan in that blush palette next month, and I could roll in something new for next month. I'm super excited about that. That is it for this update. I will leave everybody that's in this project linked down below so that you could check them out as well. If you're doing this project and I've omitted your name, let me know so I could add you in. I always feel bad when other people have joined in and I don't have you on the list, so let me know so I could add you in. That is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.